Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel, and today I am doing a pattern on this it's like a really loose long sleeve cropped off the shoulder kind of sweater, so I could wear like all my bralettes underneath it, and I added a drawstring to the bottom so it would be really cute. So yeah, here's the back, and it's made kind of like a poncho style crochet piece. And yeah, so I basically seen one of my favorite one of my favorite Instagram boutiques, and they had this sweater and it looked really cute, so I was like, let me remake it in my version. So here's the little drawstring that I added to make it cropped, because I like to wear high-waisted everything, skirts, pants, whatever. So yeah, it's very easy, super duper cute, and I used Red Heart with Love yarn, and I love this yarn. It's so soft and just perfect for any sweater or cardigan. So yeah, I'm looking kind of rough, so I'm always not trying to show my face. I'm always looking like a little ragamuffin in the house. But anyway, yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get into this video after I finish modeling the sweater. I always like to just show how it looks on so you can get a feel for if it's your style or not. So yeah, and also I have a surprise. Well, I already told you guys that I was gonna be having a blog where I was gonna put my patterns on it, but I took forever to do it. But this is gonna be my first post. So basically I have a website, it's naturallydanielle.com. And when you go on the blog, I have this pattern up there already waiting for you, so you can see all the other sizes, because I'm making this sweater in an extra small to a small. So yeah, go ahead and go over to naturallydanielle.com, and I will link it in the description box so you can get the pattern sizes. So yeah, like I said, I'm using Red Heart yarn with Love, and basically I'm just gonna show you the things that are on the details that are basically on the label. So it's 315 yards, it is about 6 ounces, and the color is berry red. So cute. It's a medium weight for yarn. The recommended hook size is a 6.5 millimeter hook, and yeah, so it's really cute. I love the little pattern that they have on. Not really into those type of things, but it's so cute. So the materials that you're gonna need is basically this yarn, of course, and then scissors to cut your ends because you don't want any little raggedy ends. Then also a 6.5 millimeter hook, and yeah, I got this hook a while ago, but it's really hard for me to use it with these nails, and you'll see later. Also a 5 millimeter hook and a sewing needle to sew everything together. And the 5 millimeter hook is for the ribbing that we're going to do for the wrist area on the sleeve. So basically you're going to start off making a slip knot, and then I chained 96 for my whole top. For the front and the back is going to be made in one piece for the actual sweater part. And my stitch gauge is about 3 stitches to an inch. So yeah, that's how I got my measurement. I used my back length, my back to waist length on the Yarn Craft Council website. I'll link that in the description box as well, so you can use those measurements if you would like. So yeah, basically once you make your 96 stitches, you want to add an extra chain for your turning chain. And this is how it should look. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to half double crochet into the second chain from the hook. Like I'm doing. That's my chain 1. Then I'm half double crochet. I yarned over to half double crochet into the second chain from the hook, and then I'm going to yarn over and half double crochet into every stitch across to the end. And yeah, so whatever you can actually make your sweater longer if you want, but of course with this tutorial I'm just doing it like basically so it's cropped but when it's not with the drawstring in it, then it'll hang a little bit lower to like about the top of my hips, but it's still not really long. So yeah, you just half double crochet across all the way to the end, and then I'll meet you back at the end of the row. So here we are at the end of the row, and I'm doing my last couple of half double crochets. And with this pattern, you're going to chain 1 after every row. Oh yeah, and I switched the hooks because with my nails, I can't use that big bulky hook, so I use just the regular hooks that I always use. This one is so hard, like, oh my god, I have to like hold my hand so crazy, and these nails are just preventing me from doing it. So yeah, it's still the same size hook, it's just I guess a different kind, just a different style. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. So anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna continue with this hook, and I'm gonna chain 1, and then I'm going to half double crochet for 4 more rows across, because the pattern that I'm using is 5 rows of half double crochet and 1 row of mesh stitch. So yeah, just go across for 4 more rows, and I'm not really going to go row by row because it's super easy. And like I said, I have a free pattern on my blog site at Naturally Danielle, and you can go naturallydanielle.com, and you can go there and see every step. So yeah, like I said, I did 5 rows in total. Excuse me. So now I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to half double crochet into the first stitch. Then I'm going to chain 1, skip 1 space, and half double crochet into the next space. And that is a pattern repeat. Every time you chain 1, skip 1, and half double crochet into the next space, and that is going to create a half double crochet mesh stitch. And so yeah, chain 1, skip 1 space, half double crochet into the next space. And that's what you're going to do for this row. Now we're at the end of the row, and I'm going to skip that last space and half double crochet into the last space and chain 1. And then I'm going to repeat the 5 rows of half double crochet and then 1 row of mesh stitch. So that is the pattern, like I said, and I did that for about 23 rows. And I'm showing this part so you can know that after your mesh row, you need to go into every stitch across. So every half double crochet that you made, every chain 1 space that you made, you need to go into every stitch so you can have 96 stitches. When you get to the end of the row, you don't want to skip any stitches, because then your work is going to be weird, because you're going to actually be decreasing, and you don't want to do that. So yeah, make sure you go into every stitch and follow the pattern until you reach 23 rows. And basically when you fold it over, you can see how it's going to be the front and the back of your sweater. And when I come back, I'm going to have all of my rows finished. So right here, I have finished my rows and marked off spaces. So I marked off 24 stitches. I'm just showing you the pattern repeat that I did. So I marked off 24 stitches on each ending, and then in the middle section it is 48 stitches that I have skipped. So you're gonna start from where you left off. I never cut the yarn off, and I'm just gonna continue the pattern, because now we're gonna create the neck area, so you can see where your shoulders is gonna be and your neck is gonna be. So you chain 1 and then I'm gonna half double crochet across 24 stitches that I have marked off with the yarn, because of course I never have stitch markers. Those things just completely disappeared. So yeah, I'm coming up on the 24th stitch. Oh, and I'm just showing you how much yarn I have left. This is the end of the first yarn, and then that's the second ball of yarn that I have, second skein, just to give you an idea how good this yarn is doing for this sweater. So yeah, you half double crochet into the 24th stitch that you have marked off. And then you want to chain up 48 chains. And that is the same amount of spaces that will be in between your stitch markers. And once you have your 48 chains, then you want to make sure your chain is straight. You don't want it curved or anything, because you're going to go back into those stitches. And then where your other stitch marker is for your other 24 stitches, you are going to half double crochet into that 24th stitch where your stitch marker is. And I'm always struggling, like, what am I doing? But yeah, so then you half double crochet into that stitch, and then you half double crochet into each stitch remaining, which should be 23 stitches. And that's where your neck is going to be. It's going to look better in a minute when I show you, because it looks kind of crazy right now. Yes, so we're coming up on the end of the row that we were just doing. So yeah, now I'm going to show you kind of what it's going to start to look like. So now you have one side of your sweater done, where your shoulder is going to be, and it's going off onto where your sleeve is going to be. And this part that I'm holding in my hand, these freaking I have these little fake leaves to have like a little cute fall aesthetic, and they just getting all in my way. But anyway, this chain that I'm holding in my hand is gonna look exactly like the side that I'm showing you right now once you continue the same pattern. So yeah, that's where your sleeve is gonna start and where your shoulder is gonna be at. So then you just want to do what you did on that chain side that you did on that side. That made sense. Anyway, so then you would just chain one and continue the pattern. So I told you that I did 23 rows. That means that I need to do 2 more rows of half double crochet to make it 5 rows of half double crochet. So the pattern still looks even and your sweater doesn't look weird. So I'm going to half double crochet all the way across the 24 stitches that I marked off again. And then you're also going to half double crochet into that chain of stitches that you did, the 48 chains. You're going to half double crochet into that, and that's why you should have made sure that your chain was straight, so it'll work perfectly while you're trying to go into every stitch and you don't miss a stitch or have it turned. And then after you go into those 48 stitches with half double crochets, then you go into the next 24 stitches that are left with half double crochets again. And that will be your 24th row, which is your 4th row of half double crochet in the pattern of 5 half double crochets. Which means, yeah, you just have to do another row. Go all the way across all of these stitches. Messing up. These nails have me like holding the hook so weird, but it makes my tension way better than what my tension usually is. It's usually so loose. So basically, here's how the pattern is looking. This is the 4th row in the pattern. and it's also the 24th row. Yeah. So then you just want to chain 1 and continue doing another row of half double crochet, and then you do a row of mesh stitch, and then you continue your rows of half double crochet and mesh stitch again. So yeah, this is basically how it should look when you're finished. You do exactly what you did on the front side, on the first side to the second side. And if you go on the blog, you'll be able to see it row for row, so you won't be confused. So yeah, this is what it looks like. It's pretty big. If you put it on, it'll be falling off your shoulders at this point. But we're not done. We still have to add so much more to this portion of the sweater. And this is how much yarn I have left of the ball, the second skein that I opened. So yeah, now basically I have marked off where my armhole is going to be, and that is about 27 spaces on each side of the sweater. So just mark off 27 spaces on each part, and then you want to sew those 27 stitches together with, you want to go ahead and thread the yarn needle with the yarn, and then just go ahead and stitch those sides up. I have videos showing how to stitch up sides. It's so easy, or you can do it whatever method is best for you. And yeah, go ahead and stitch both of those sides up so you can have your armhole spaces ready for when you make the sleeves. Super duper easy. Does take a while, but it's super cute once you finish it. And the whole thing costs like $9 to make, so I mean, hey, it's not that bad. All right, so we're going to put that to the side, and now we're going to go ahead and we're going to work on our sleeves. Now I made my sleeves super duper big. They're about 15 inches long, just the sleeve part. So you might want to adjust that to how you see fit, but I chained 45, so my sleeves could be about 15 inches, and the stitch gauge is 3 inches per 3 stitches per inch. So if you want your sleeve to be 5 inches, then you would just do 5 times 3, or however long you want the sleeve to be. So just make sure when you're doing this that you make sure you measure on yourself, or look on the Yarn Craft Council, the Craft Yarn Council's website, so you can see how long the sleeve should be. So yeah, I chained 45 plus 1, and that's how big it would be around my arm, just to give you a picture so you can see what it would look like. So I'm going to half double crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then half double crochet in every stitch across, because I'm doing the same exact pattern that I did for the sweater part. So it's 5 rows of half double crochet and 1 row of mesh stitch. So we're doing the mesh stitch, we chain 1, half double crochet in the first space, chain 1, skip 1 space, and half double crochet into the next space, and repeat that pattern across just like you did for the top pattern. Super duper easy. I did that for 30 rows. Yeah, so once you do all of those rows, like I just showed you right here, this is all the rows that I did, about 30 rows. Or maybe it was 29 rows. I don't know, 29 or 30, however the pattern ends. And then you see how it fits around my sleeve. So just make sure you're mindful when you're making your sweater that it is all matching up, so you don't have like a super duper big hole and then not a big enough sleeve, or your sleeve is too big for the hole. Just make sure you pay attention to that. And yeah, so now we're going to go ahead and get to the cuff part. And this is how much yarn I have left after the second skein, just to keep showing you how far I'm along in the yarn. So I had to go to Walmart and get another skein because yeah, that wasn't going to be enough. And yeah, they're about $2–3, so it's not too bad. I could have bought more when I purchased it in the first place. But anyway, you're going to go ahead and make a slip knot. I chained 18 plus 1. So like I said, I made my cuff part where the ribbing is about 6 inches. So you can change that if you want, if you don't want it so long or if you want it longer. And then I'm going to have single crochet into the second chain from the hook, and then single crochet into every stitch across. So that would be 17 more stitches across, unless you did a different amount. And then when you get to the end of the row, you just want to chain 1. And now we are going to start working into the back loops. So you want to go into the back loop of every stitch and single crochet. Trying to give you an up close view, but my lighting is super trash as usual. I'm trying to get better. But you go into the back loop of every stitch, and then you chain 1 at the end, and you continue that for 30 rows. If you're doing extra small, if you're doing a small, you can add 6 more rows, so a total of 36 rows if you want, because you don't want it to be too tight around your arm. So yeah, that's what it should look like starting off. And then here, oh, my stomach is growling. Here's how it looks after the 30 rows is complete. I'm just counting it up here because I'm always forgetting, but I wrote it down, so can't forget this time. Anyway, so now I'm going to turn the sleeve long ways, and then the ribbing stretches, so you just go ahead and stretch it across, and then you add stitch markers to keep it in place so you can stitch it together. And make sure the sleeves are the wrong side, so when you want to stitch it up, it'll all look right and you won't have any raw pieces or raw edges. So yeah, I'm using my yarn as stitch markers, of course, and I put 3 of them, 2 on the end and 1 in the middle. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and do a stitch across to stitch those together. Super easy. Just thread your yarn needle and go ahead and stitch it across. And we are going to proceed after this with stitching the actual sleeve together up the seam. Well, up the side. What am I talking about? So yeah, there you go. I don't know why I put all of this in here. It's so easy to just tell you. But anyway, I'm gonna add this video to my blog as well, so you can have a reference if you need to go back to see what I'm doing if you don't understand. Yeah. Stitch it all the way across. Does it sound like I have a lisp to you? You guys, let me know in the comments. I know that's a weird question, but I feel like I have a lisp, and I feel like one of my teeth is shifting, and I sound like I have a lisp to me. Just let me know if that sounds like that to you, because I hear it. But anyway, like I said, we're gonna go ahead and stitch the side together. Don't need to show you because it's easy. So now The sleeve is stitched together, and so now I'm just going to turn it right side out because that's how I do my sleeves all the time. And I put the sleeve inside of the sweater, the arm hole of the sweater. I just match it up where it would be sewed together anyway, but make sure that your sweater is still inside out. So you place the sleeve right into the armhole area, and then you just match it up, and then I go ahead and add my stitch markers to the top and the bottom of it, where my shoulder and armpits would be at, so I can make sure it stays in place when I'm stitching it around, because I don't want it to be shifting and moving. Yeah, so just go ahead and thread your needle and go ahead and sew that around as well. I think I added a clip of that in just so you can see a little bit of what I'm doing. Yeah, that's how I hold it. And I don't go into every single stitch. I just, however it looks to me. Like, I think I go into every other stitch maybe. You can do it how you want though. And don't make it too tight or too loose. So basically, here's what it looks like when the sleeves are attached. And we're gonna work on this neck hole area because it is definitely still kind of loose and falling off. If you are a size extra small and small, if you're making this and you're like a medium or large, it might not be so bad, but this is the third skein that I was just showing you. So it's kind of to the end, but we're basically at the end anyway. So this is considered my back area. You can choose whatever area you want to be the back. Then you just make a slip knot and then attach it to your work with your hook and a slip knot. So then I'm just gonna yarn over and half double crochet into that same spot, and then I'm going to chain one, skip one space, and half double crochet into the next space. So it's basically the same pattern as the mesh stitch of the sweater and the sleeves. And I'm gonna go around every stitch with that pattern. So chain one, skip one, half double crochet into the next, chain one, skip one, half double crochet into the next, all the way around. And this is just gonna bring it together a little bit more and add more rows. I did about 4 rows in total because that's just when I kept every time I did a row I tried it on and it wasn't how I wanted it to look, so I kept going until I got however many rows I wanted. You can do more rows if you want, or you can do less rows. It's up to you. You can do half double crochet rows. You don't even have to make it mesh, but I did it mesh because in the original sweater that I saw, it was a knit sweater, I think, but it looked like it had like some gaps in it, so I just went ahead and added the mesh stitch to give it that look. So yeah, it's super duper easy. Just keep going around for however many rows you want to do. And so I'm at the front of the sweater. That was the back, went up the side. Now I'm at the front, chaining one, and I'm showing that I'm just skipping a space and going into the next, just in case you wanted to know how you do the bottom area. It's not going to be so much of a V-neck how it was at first, but yeah, you just keep going that way, and it starts to create its own pattern as it stretches for some reason, and it looked really cute. I liked it. And I also washed mine and dried it, so mine may look different from how yours is looking right now. So here's me slip stitching into that first stitch of the row and chaining one to do a second row. But I'm showing you how it looks so far, and like I told you before you go ahead and you do 4 rows in total. I don't know why I just said it like that. Anyway, so yeah, here's the sweater, guys. Super duper easy. You can make it in any size. This really could have been like a one size fits all type of sweater, but I know people like different length sweaters, so that's why I added the length. So really with the pattern on the blog, you can use the length of the measurement that I gave you and then still use this pattern and do about 42 rows or however many rows I did. So yeah, with that 5mm hook that I used for the sleeve cuff, I just chained up about 200, and that is for the drawstring that I was adding to the bottom of it to make it cropped. So yeah, you just chain that up, and then I stretched it a little bit, and then I went through the bottom of the sweater because I wasn't going to do an edging on the bottom of the sweater. I didn't want to, so I just added the drawstring to it. And you just weave it through there with the, you can do it with the sewing needle or you can do it with the hook. Just go through, and then you can tie it up kind of how you would like a hoodie or something like that with a drawstring in it. And I'm going to start adding more other things to my crochet outfits to make them more wearable and more professional looking in the future. But anyway, here is the sweater. Super duper cute, super duper easy. If you have any questions, just go ahead and leave them in the comment section. If you have any comments, good or bad, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. I appreciate them all. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate you. I just keep getting more subscribers. Like every day I get more subscribers, and it's just amazing. So thank you, guys. And if you have crochet pages and you want me to follow you, go ahead and leave your name in the comment section, and I will definitely follow you because I love everything crochet. So yeah, here's the finished sweater. Go and look at my blog, naturallydanielle.com. And I will see you guys in the next video. Oh yeah, and comment below if you want me to make something. I know I have a list of things that I still haven't made, but it's hard coming up with these patterns and writing them and filming it and editing. But anyway, thanks guys. Bye.